following is a presentation of the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, and real since 1998.
Right now on the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time, TNA Bound for Glory is in the record books, and it seems that it was also a hard reset for the company. We have a full review of the event. WWE Hell in a Cell is tomorrow night on pay-per-view, and we have a full match-by-match preview. We've also got this week's DWHS, Hot News, Event Center, and the little things with Ardo Ocal. All that and more right now on My 24 Milwaukee.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report PrimeTime TV, the longest-running pro wrestling news program in the world, with your hosts David Hero and Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Saturday night. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius, the alleged backyard one-time knockout straight edge hardcore Hall of Famer Hero.
Yes.
Here on Saturday, October 26, 2000, and it's not the 26th, is it? Already? Yeah, it is. Wow.
Isn't it amazing?
Where has October gone? Where's your costume? This is supposed to be the very special Halloween edition, and you've messed that up.
No, I didn't. I had a hard time debating who I wanted to be.
Well, we've only got another week.
I know. Well, Halloween carries over. It'll be fine. Because, you know, next weekend is going to be All Dead's Day, whatever it is anyway.
Yeah, sure.
So it'll be fine.
All right, let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen, and let's go to this week's first of two pay-per-view reports, as we are coming off the heels of TNA Bound for Glory, which was this past Sunday night on pay-per-view. David, it seemed like it was a bit of a hard reset for the company. Let's talk about it match by match. Firstly, every championship changed hands at TNA Bound for Glory this past Sunday night. You can't spoil something that has already happened.
But all of them don't know that yet.
Well, they will in a moment. That's why
they didn't watch the pay-per-view.
We've set it up. We framed it. Now
right.
let's get
please carry on.
Detail.
Move along.
Firstly, brand new tag team champions in the Bromans, Mr. Spectacular and Robbie E.
How about that? Finally, some gold around the waist of Robbie E. You know, Jesse, Mr. Spectacular. They're a good young heelish tag team. They have charisma. They get it. The match started out a little bit slow, but ended with a ton of fire by the Bromans defeating Gunner and James Storm, which I consider that to be an upset.
And they are an easy team to hate.
Well, yeah, because they're just look at them.
They're along the lines of the fabulous Rougeau brothers.
Yeah, mix the fabulous Rougeaus along with some Power and Glory.
Yes.
Or Young Stallions.
Yes. You say the match started off a little slow. It did indeed in San Diego, but it ended very well, and with a surprise ending, surprising the audience and those of us watching at home as well. Brand new tag team champions.
Well, what was more of a shock was that James Storm did the job. I couldn't believe it.
Did you think Mr. Olympia had a positive impact on the Bromans? He was in their corner.
It looked good cosmetically on TV, but he didn't do anything.
It made all the sense in the world, though. How about the protein shake celebration backstage afterwards?
Yeah, I can't imagine too many reporters want to get a protein shake celebration.
There's also a brand new X Division champion. It was an Ultimate X match where several participants participated, but the winner would be Chris Sabin, who's now the X Division champion for, I think, the 8th or 9th time. Many thought Jeff Hardy would be the person winning this matchup. You thought Manic would
I thought Manic had the best chance, but Chris Sabin brings Velvet Sky a la a 2013 Miss Elizabeth into the ring as a distraction.
What's
Absolutely.
that comparison? How so? Just by looks alone?
Because how Chris Sabin uses Velvet Sky as a distraction is the same way Macho Man used Elizabeth. Yes. You know, like how Macho Man would always pull Liz in front of him against George Steele and would slow down George Steele. Not identical, but very similar. And let's face it, Chris Sabin needs Velvet Sky.
Yes. No huge, oh my God, spots in this matchup, but I'm fine with that because they did more wrestling.
I don't know if their insurance has been caught up yet.
Stop it, David. Really? Stop it. Why must you do this? We're spending all this time on TNA and you can't put the shovel away. Stop. Stop
I was being honest.
Total nonstop action wrestling.
It was a good match. It was. They had some crazy. Listen, when you have Chris Sabin defeating Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, Austin Aries, And you can throw Manic in there. That's fine. But those first 3 guys are stars, established stars. And Chris Sabin was an established tag team star. Now gets to that next level by beating those guys.
He's a several-time former X Division champion.
He's a mid-card guy.
There's also a new Knockouts champion, ladies and gentlemen. Gail Kim wins, but she had a little bit of help in that matchup.
I could not believe Tamina came down to the ring. Lady Tapa came down to the ring and, first of all, took out ODB, which amazed me, and then killed Brooke. But you know what? I have no problem with Gail Kim being the Knockouts champ. I think she's still the best wrestler, best female wrestler in the world, and it works. But unfortunately, you got the AJ, Tamina, Gail Kim, Lady Tapa, very similar looking gimmick thing going there.
There's a brand new TNA World Champion crowned as AJ Styles overcame all the odds, Dixie Carter, the Aces and Eights, and won that matchup and became the new
And let's not
TNA
forget,
World
he
Heavyweight
overcame the
Champion.
Spanish announce table.
He barely did. I really thought he face planted on the concrete when he came out and did that. Spot on the
AJ
table.
Styles had the match he had to have. He
Yeah.
showed fire. He showed he wasn't going to quit. You could almost believe he could walk on water and through fire. That's how bad he wanted to become the TNA World Heavyweight Impact Wrestling Champion.
And they framed it very nicely with the footage all through the night of the former or the prior matches that AJ had and where he had won the X Division Championship for the first time, things of that nature. Very well done, very well developed by Impact Wrestling. Now we know, and then we saw this past Thursday night, a rematch between Bully Ray and AJ on Impact Live, but still, Bound for Glory and the World Championship, every championship changing hands. It was a bit of a reset.
It had to be a reset.
Because in addition to that, we saw Sting tap out to Magnus. Sting submits. Sting gives up to Magnus.
And I've never seen that. That, to me, was a shock. I mean, you kind of figured Sting was going to put Magnus over because that's what's best for business for Magnus.
Oh, you hoped he would.
But, you never know what's going to happen there. But, it was a changing of the guard. I mean, even Bobby Roode defeating Kurt Angle. That shocked me. Well, Kurt Angle did a lot of shocking stuff on Sunday night.
I understand we'll hear about that in DWHS later on. Kurt Angle declining to be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame this past Sunday and on pay-per-view. Coming out of Bound for Glory, all TNA-born talents have championships or beat big stars at that event. Clearly, it was a reset for the company. And let's go ahead and be clear here. We talked last week and last Sunday on a special edition of the show where many of you think we buried the show. Let's summarize because I think it's small clips that people can only digest nowadays. The problem wasn't with how good Bound for Glory was going to be. The problem was making it feel as good as it was going to be before the show, thus making people buy it and order it. You could have the greatest event in the world, but if nobody's watching it, you get no credit for it. And I fear that a lot of people did not tune in.
3,600 people bought tickets in San Diego.
Exactly, and that's the problem. The event itself gets a resounding pass from me, David Hero.
It was. I believe it or not, yes, it was a very solid pay-per-view
Believe it or not,
offering.
you had to throw that in there.
Well, some people aren't going to believe it.
You expected the show to be bad?
I did.
Really?
I thought Sting was going to beat Magnus. I thought Angle was going to beat Rude. You got to figure Joe, Aries, or Hardy was going to win the X Division title.
So you expected par for the course from TNA,
yes,
and you did not get that.
And I didn't get it, and I was very pleased.
That's TNA Bound for Glory, which was this past Sunday on pay-per-view. We still have a lot more to come here on the Pro Wrestling Report, including WWE Hell in a Cell, which is tomorrow night on pay-per-view. We've got a full match-by-match preview of that big event. We also have this week's DWHS Hot News, Event Center, and the Little Things with Arda Ocal. All that when we come back right here on My 24 Milwaukee.
I went on down to the Audubon Zoo, and they all asked for you. They all asked for you. Who? Well, they even inquired about you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night. It's Saturday, October 26, 2013. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Octavius Tiberius, that guy, Hero.
This guy?
Yeah, you.
I'm just that guy now?
Yeah, what do you say this week? What are these words that are coming out of your chest?
Got chops.
Pork chops?
It's a tribute to the Bully Ray AJ Styles. Did you see AJ's chest? It was raspberry.
It was lit up. Anyways, let's go to this week's WWE
He should have kept that $50,000 he took from Dixie to pay for all.
It was about $40.
Are you saying it was fake money in that briefcase?
You saw the episode.
I wasn't watching that close.
This past Monday night on Raw, it was all about the Big Show, The Authority, Daniel Bryan, and Randy Orton as we go into Hell in a Cell this upcoming Sunday night. The end of the show, very solid, I think. They did what they could to get people to buy WWE Hell in a Cell on pay-per-view. Big Show in the semi-truck, or at least the tractor of the truck, driving out and ending the show with Daniel Bryan standing on top. But the tension between the Authority, Triple H specifically, and the third man in, Shawn Michaels, was clear this past Monday night.
I mean, the two best friends, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, back and forth. I mean, a little awkward uncomfortableness there for a little bit between the two of them. You know?
Isn't that what you want? Isn't that what they should be doing?
Absolutely, because Hunter can't let his guard down now.
Triple H.
Hunter. Shawn calls him Hunter. I call him Hunter too. So he can't let his guard down right now with Shawn Michaels and hug him and embrace him and DX chop the whole thing, because let's face it, Stephanie is right there. And she's watching everything. And you know...
What are you saying?
Because you don't think she pulls the strings on Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
I don't know what they do.
She's the billion-dollar princess.
Well, I do have 3 children.
Yeah, she rules, okay? But I don't get why Big Show is involved. Put it this way, if that's my company, all right, and Big Show continues to, like, sneak his way into the building, I'm having a taser, and I am tasering Big Show, like what Al Snow would do.
I did like the countdown. At the beginning of the show, when when Big Show was via satellite and Stephanie said, and you're done in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, gone went the Big Show.
He couldn't have been that far away, though.
Couldn't have been.
But who gave him the camera and the access codes to be on Raw?
He's got a friend in production.
You think it's Vince?
That's what could be possible.
Or maybe it's Michael Hayes.
He's, from what I understand, not there this week.
Gotcha.
How about The Miz and Kofi Kingston teaming up?
Well, you know, it's been almost 2 years since it was The Miz and R-Truth against The Rock and John Cena.
Solid matchup.
How long ago was that?
Solid matchup between Daniel Bryan and Dean Ambrose as well to open the show. What? What don't you like about that?
Again.
You're just like what Triple H was saying to Daniel Bryan about he's a B-plus star.
No.
I would never come back and wrestle you. I would wrestle The Undertaker. I would wrestle The Rock. I would wrestle Brock Lesnar. You're that guy.
You know what? And Daniel Bryan should be thankful for that, because you know Triple H will not book himself to lose to Daniel Bryan. There's no way. He beat CM Punk when CM Punk was
Same guy who didn't
hot.
think Sting would tap out to Magnus this past Sunday night. Same guy who didn't think that Chris Sabin would win the Exhibition Championship.
We are talking about WWE right now.
Yes.
Not TNA. TNA is...
Oh, you don't want to go back to that because you were wrong.
No, I wasn't wrong. I was mistaken.
Wrong.
I had no idea that...
You were wrongly mistaken.
Exactly. But there's no way that Hunter Hearst Helmsley is going to lose to Daniel Bryan. And he should be thankful for that. But once again, it's Daniel Bryan against the Shield. Again. Uncle, I tap. Give me anybody else right now. Bring back the Brooklyn Brawler. T.L. Hopper.
Are you a wrestling fan?
Yes.
You did not like the pure wrestling that was happening between
Not when I see it every week. Change it up.
You don't watch SmackDown, so that was your first time seeing that.
I still like wrestling characters.
So Los Doritos were your favorites this past Monday night?
No, the little bull. He was actually kind of funny.
The bull whip that Zeb had?
That's racial, right? How do you get a bullwhip and chase Mexicans all around the building? Or
Raw,
Puerto Ricans, or whatever they are.
Let's go through this week's Diamond of the Ring. David, take it away.
This week's Diamond of the Ring is the new TNA Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions, Mr. Spectacular, my super friend and former GLCW champion, Robbie E. the Bromans. Yes, they shocked the world by winning the gauntlet, then going on to defeat Gunner and Cowboy James Storm. Sorry about your damn luck. This week's Robert Hack Diamonds of the Ring, the place where they pay cash for gold, is the new TNA Impact World Tag Team Champions.
The modern-day Viking.
The Bromans.
I like Gunner.
Hey, Gunner's an impressive beast.
Gunner is a very impressive beast. I don't know why, but it didn't strike me until Bound for Glory. So Robbie E. and Jesse Goddard.
And Jesse Goddard, yeah. How can they
you
not
go from
be?
Dixie Carter last week to those two this week. 2 TNA talents in a row?
Well, 3. Dixie and the Bromans is 2. I get it, man. If math wasn't your deal, that's fine.
Let's go to Linda Kay with this week's Event Center. Linda, take it away.
Welcome to the PWR Event Center, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. GLCW Blizzard Brawl 9 is coming up in just a few weeks, and it's promising to be the biggest event ever. In recent weeks, we announced that WWE Hall of Famer Ron Simmons, Ken Anderson, and Howard Finkel will be making an appearance at the annual event. And tonight, we are pleased to announce yet another name. You saw him on this past Sunday's Bound for Glory, and now you can see Joseph Park live at Blizzard Brawl 9. A portion of the Blizzard Brawl 9 proceeds will benefit the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and you can get your tickets now online at blizzardbrawl.com. The PWR team is coming to Pittsburgh for the 2014 WWE Royal Rumble, along with Big Sexy Kevin Nash. In addition to live coverage of the Royal Rumble, PWR will host a special event with Big Sexy Kevin Nash as part of the big weekend. All the details can be found at pwrshow.com, and we will see you at the Royal Rumble. That's it for this week's Event Center presented by Gruber Law Offices, and we'll see you at the matches.
Thank you, Linda. There's still a lot more to come here on the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime, including a full preview of WWE Hell in a Cell, which is tomorrow night on pay-per-view. We've also got Ardo Ocal, who's got this week's The Little Things. But first, before we get to all that, it's time to find out what's on David Hero's mind in this week's DHHS. David, take it away.
Last Sunday, TNA hosted their biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory, and the event itself was actually very well done. Almost a changing of the guard as the Bromans, Chris Sabin, Bobby Roode, Magnus, and AJ Styles all won their matches over already established stars on the roster. This was a good thing for TNA, but Kurt Angle was supposed to be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame during the pay-per-view, although I thought that was supposed to happen for the paying guests the night before. But he came out during the show and declined during the pay-per-view the presentation from Sting. This left the IWC on Twitter and Facebook wondering if this was real or not. Would TNA actually use their own Hall of Fame that they're trying to build into something credible as a storyline? Well, we are talking about TNA. And with that, David Hero has spoken.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, the insurance company may try to stop you from getting what's fair.
After my car wreck, the insurance company tried to stop me from getting what was fair. I called Gruber Law Offices.
Be careful. Call us right away.
They better be careful. Now I've got Gruber Law Offices.
Call us. Let us get started on your case right now.
They green-lighted my case and got me $100,000.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. Call 276-6666.
Hi gang, Mean Gene Okerlund here on My 24, and you're watching the Pro Wrestling Report. All of the news about wrestling, not only here in Milwaukee, but throughout the world. Stay up to date. Join us every Saturday night.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report, primetime Saturday night for October 26, 2013. David.
Yes.
You know, we didn't get a chance to talk about Abyss coming back earlier.
Abyss. You know, and
the monster, old music, Abyss. TNA needs Abyss. I love the Joe Park character, but they need Abyss.
Oh, I'm confused now, because now if Joseph Park isn't there, does that mean Abyss takes his spot against Al Snow at Blizzard Brawl?
I think that's a good question.
I mean, I got to make some phone calls this week.
Speaking of phone calls, well, I don't know where I was going with that, but I do know that it is time to go to our dear friend Arda Ocal. Arda's got this week's Little Things.
He's back this week?
Yeah, every week.
And why is it always about little things?
That's the name of the segment. It's the things that you may not have noticed while you were watching wrestling.
I notice everything.
I don't think you do. Like the things on the teleprompter right there you're not noticing right now. Arda, take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. Time now for another edition of The Little Things, because they matter in the world of professional wrestling. From Raw, I like that Paul Heyman didn't shave. I love the fact that he's letting the stubble grow, letting the beard grow, because he's upset and he's a little distraught and anxious, pensive about the match at Hell in a Cell. We saw this before. It's happening again. The little things matter, and he is certainly the master. Dolph Ziggler had a decent showing against Randy Orton. More importantly, his offense looks spectacular. I like the fact that people are remembering him in this match, despite being on a losing streak, perhaps doghouse, I don't know any of the rumors, whatever the case may be. Dolph Ziggler's losing a lot of matches, but guess what? I think this may be the turnaround. He had a great showing against Randy Orton, and I do think that brighter days are ahead for the show-off. But the number one thing that stuck out to me, the little things. Every secondary champion, with the exception of the tag team champions, lost on Raw. And yeah, maybe 2 of the 3 lost to their challengers at the pay-per-view. But when the United States champion, the Intercontinental champion, and the Divas champion all lose on the same show, it just reaffirms the fact that these secondary championships oftentimes are nothing more than props. And to me, as a guy who watched professional wrestling in the 80s and saw the heyday of the IC title, the tag title, that is a disappointment. Follow me on Twitter at Arda_Ocal. I'll be in the Canadian Arctic kicking Lance Storm's butt at Scrabble.
Thank you, Arda. From the Great White North, Arda Ocal.
It looks like it's cold up there.
Let's go through this on our second.
He has lots of books.
Pay-per-view report, ladies and gentlemen.
Is he that worldly
Tomorrow
that he reads
night,
that much?
It's WWE Hell in a Cell on pay-per-view, and it's marking the return of John Cena to WWE pay-per-view and WWE television. He will take on Alberto Del Rio for the World Heavyweight Championship. This match to be held with no stipulations, no Hell in a Cell surrounding it. Is Alberto Del Rio going to lose the World Heavyweight Championship tomorrow night?
Absolutely not. There is no way he's going to lose to John Cena, the returning John Cena.
Really?
You know, I noticed the big things, the big pictures, all right? If you look at all the little vignettes that they've been doing for John Cena, it's like the Rocky story, you know?
There's some great ones this week.
I mean, they are showing how he doesn't quit, the battle he's made from surgery. They showed on Raw how he started with, Kurt Angle, which I thought very kabuki-ish timing. That the guy that said no to the TNA Hall of Fame is now, they show him with John Cena in his first big pay-per-view match.
They also showed him beating JBL. They also showed him
but the main stuff was with Kurt Angle.
That wasn't the main stuff. It was the first
It started, most time. Stop, just look. This is my big thing.
I'm trying to unspin what you're spinning, Mr. Handy.
And now they're putting, so now they're making John Cena to be this larger-than-life good guy.
Because he is.
The superhero. And now they're putting him in the ring with the number 1 true bad guy in WWE, Alberto Del Rio. People just don't like the character.
Number 1 what?
True bad guy. You can't say Randy Orton's a true bad guy. People just don't like Del Rio. He gets legit heat. Fans still like the Shield. They still like Randy Orton. Know what I mean? Even the real Americans, they get babyface cheers once in a while. Nobody cheers for Del Rio. So, even in Miami, they're not going to cheer him, at Hell in a Cell. So now they are setting the stage for John Cena to get that huge babyface pop for his return, so it translates better on TV, not to keep booing and cheering the guy. That's a big thing.
AJ Lee versus Brie Bella for the Divas Championship. AJ back in action.
We had this match last month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get double points, so it's fine with me. But
you'll need them.
I do need lots of points, but the fact is, why?
How would you book it, David Hero? AJ and Brie.
You got to keep AJ winning right now. You do. She has Tamina. She has her own Big Mama Cool outside the ring right now. You know what I mean?
Not the Big Bad Mama.
No, but I mean, it's a Shawn Michaels Diesel look that they have achieved. Mm-hmm. And, let her, being the wrestler, keep beating the Divas for right now.
It's a triple threat tag team matchup for the tag team championships of the World Cody Rhodes and Goldust will defend against the Shield and the Usos.
Interesting. I mean, maybe they want to take the tag titles off of Cody and Goldust. I hope they don't, because right now Cody and Goldust bring out the best of the other tag teams.
Snap.
Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. Well, Cody Rhodes is endorsed. Dustin Rhodes, Goldust is an amazing talent.
And Goldust is wrestling better now than he did 15 years ago.
Absolutely.
And the Usos have improved. The Shield is still the Shield. They're always going to be in a great spot. But don't have Cody and Goldust tag match win be a fluke. Let them keep going right now.
How do you book it? Who wins?
Cody and Goldust. They have to.
Hell in a Cell. There will be 2 matchups held in the confines of the Hell in a Cell structure. First one will be CM Punk versus Ryback and Paul Heyman. It's a handicap matchup. Finally, perhaps CM Punk will get his hands on Paul Heyman, who, by the way, this past Monday night was absolutely tremendous.
Curtis Axel had a hard time keeping it together.
Yes, he did.
He really did. I mean, I honestly thought he wanted to start laughing when he was doing that backstage promo. And Paul Heyman, I mean, he's done a fantastic job. I mean, he's done a great job with Curtis Axel, even though he hasn't been given any big wins in a long time. And Ryback is definitely a Paul Heyman type guy. But CM Punk is just right now at a completely different level. He hasn't had that big victory yet this year, and I would be shocked if he loses at Hell in a Cell on Sunday night.
The next Hell in a Cell contest will be for the WWE Championship, which, by the way, I hope you realize has been vacant for the last 2 months. There's been no WWE champion. I'm not sure that's ever happened.
It's really ever since John Cena left.
True that. Absolutely. But it is Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton, Hell in a Cell. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, is the special guest referee, David Hero. Who would you book to win this matchup, and why?
You know, I guess I would have Randy Orton win. I would have the Big Show come down like he's going to help Daniel Bryan. He actually knocks out Daniel Bryan. And then you have the Big Show and Randy Orton faction with Triple H. I mean, do we really want to see Triple H against Big Show? That's where that has to go.
Put the right story, which I think we have.
But I don't think the fans want that. So I think Daniel Bryan will probably win, but I would book Randy Orton to win.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, because Randy Orton's taller.
Well, he is over 6 feet tall. But that's not why. Toolbox.
Hell in a Cell tomorrow night on pay-per-view. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/PWR show for all the coverage of Hell in a Cell.
Are you live tweeting tomorrow night?
Absolutely, I'll be live tweeting as I was this past Sunday
at
for Bound for
PWR
Glory.
Show on Twitter?
I don't.
How about your personal account? You don't tweet, as much from your personal account anymore.
You ever heard quality over quantity?
Yeah, but no one. Yeah, but sometimes.
That's this week's PWR PrimeTime.
You get a better price on quantity.
We'll be back next week, where I guess it's
Halloween.
Our Halloween edition after Halloween.
All the stuff's half off after Halloween.
Stevie and Nelson say thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.